Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS news for Friday, February 14. The other two patients who were in isolation at a Ministry of Health and Wellness facility have tested negative for COVID-19, previously called the novel coronavirus. The ministry says it received the test results for the second and third person yesterday from the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPA. Results for the first patient who arrived on the island from China on January 30 returned on February 12. The second individual had an elevated temperature, which was detected while in quarantine. The third person was placed in isolation after being detected with a fever on arrival at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay on February 11. The ministry says all three patients will be discharged given their negative test results. Persons are being reminded that quarantine and isolation procedures are in place to allow for the detection and early investigation of all individuals who may have been exposed to the virus. The Education Ministry is implementing measures to fill the vacancies caused by 390 teachers leaving the public school system since September. At a press conference yesterday, Minister with Oversight Carl Samuda said there was no need for panic.
The steps taken to address these vacancies are as follows. We have allowed boards to recruit retired teachers, and you'll recall that we made pronouncements in this regard earlier in the year and last year as well.
The ministry has also engaged part-time educators and final-year student teachers to carry out their practical experience at schools temporarily. Some institutions have also merged smaller classes to reduce the demand for teachers, while some teachers are sharing expertise through the Twinning of Schools program. The ministry has also redeployed teachers who were previously engaged at all-age and junior high schools to assist at the secondary level. And Mr. Samuda says the ministry plans to spend $360 million over the next 3 years, funding an additional 300 teachers. Still on education, 400 safety and security officers will be deployed to schools island-wide in an effort to provide adequate security at these institutions.
We are drawing on the Hope graduates, and they will be, I think, a very, very useful addition to this particular area of concern. To date, 184 have been placed, and the others are to be placed by the end of February.
He says the officers will be deployed mainly at the primary level.
We are presently recruiting safety and security officers for each region across the country. We are also seeking to assign 2 police advisors to the ministry for the purpose of guiding our approach to safety and security.
The ministry will also be collaborating with the Jamaica Constabulary Force to place 154 school resource officers in 221 schools. Additionally, by the end of March, 30 overhead metal detectors will be installed in schools. In other news, the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica (PCJ) has granted a 6-month extension to its production sharing agreement with Tullow Jamaica Limited and United Oil and Gas. The extension, which ends on July 31, 2020, was granted to allow the joint venture partners to finalize the current farm-down initiative related to the pending drill drop decision. The PCJ says these activities are standard procedures within the oil and gas industry, primarily used to share risk within an exploration basin. The current exploration period, which is in its 3rd subphase, includes the detailed 3D seismic imaging. That was completed in 2018 offshore Jamaica, with the final interpretation-ready data product being delivered to the PCJ in mid-2019. The PCJ says several prospects and leads in the Walton Basin have been identified and mapped on the 3D seismic data and form the basis of the ongoing farm-down evaluations. It was reported back in February 2019 by United Oil and Gas that new estimates indicated there were about 229 million barrels of recoverable oil and gas offshore Jamaica. Tullow Jamaica Limited and United Oil and Gas have an 80 to 20% sharing agreement in the oil exploration project. Greg Christie has been appointed Executive Director of the Integrity Commission and will assume the position on May 18 this year. Prior to this appointment, Mr. Christie headed the Office of the Contractor General between 2005 and 2012. The attorney at law will bring to the Commission his vast experience in public administration as well as the private sector. The Integrity Commission is the country's single anti-corruption body that was established in 2019 and is within the Office of the Prime Minister. It was formed from the merger of the Integrity Commission, the Commission for the Prevention of Corruption, and the Office of the Contractor General. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government will be increasing its integration of technology in the traffic environment in the coming financial year. Mr. Holness says the state will increase the number of cameras installed for Jamaica Eye to address the growing indiscipline on the nation's roads. The Prime Minister says the cameras will be equipped with sensors to read license plates and detect speeding, to assist with prosecutions and the issuing of traffic tickets. The initiative will be rolled out in Kingston, followed by urban areas, with plans for island-wide rollout in the coming years.
Once we have increased our ability to detect, we will increase our prosecution. And the increase of prosecution without any form of compromise, because that has also been a challenge for law enforcement. Once you break the law and you are detected, you will be prosecuted.
Mr. Holness was addressing Wednesday's grand opening of the Jaguar Land Rover showroom in Kingston. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.